All right, so yeah, Esports Arena, Santa Ana Showdown. This is, I believe, Group A still?
That's right.
It is Group A still, so it's Monstars facing off against Denial. Now, we did hear from the analysts that they were really expecting this to be a closer match. I mean, 16-1.
I believe so.
It's
yeah.
easier to get closer from there. But honestly, who do you favor in this matchup?
I gotta go with Monstars. Denial was amazingly consistent. Like watching them when they qualified I believe it was Santa Ana Showdown 3, they were very consistent. They didn't have too much of a flashy play style, but they made everything work. And while some matches were closer than others, they just had a very solid regiment. And with two stand-ins, I don't think they can bring that to the table this time.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. This Monstars lineup, they've been playing together for a really long time now. Come out to a lot of our LANs here at the Esports Arena, most of our Santa Ana Showdowns, and then before that, our CSGO Fridays, CSGO Sundays, our 5K LANs back early last year and late 2015
Right.
also. So they've been playing together for a while. Kiko being one of the more recent, I believe, pickups after he had left. Back then, I think it was 4's up. Or 3's up. But yeah, we're going right into the match. It is going to be here on Train. Monstars starting off on the CT side. Denial will be on the T side here as we already have a few members pushing in through the halls.
Rico holding here under lateral might be greeted soon. Looks like they're posturing to go down there, but they have plenty of time to play with. Otherwise, mainly default setup here by Monstars. Second player backing up a player on B, but quick rotation position. F Loki looking like he finally wants to take a peek. Minute 15 left in the round, so they got to start showing a little bit of aggression here, start to get a little bit more information, try and make something happen soon.
Yeah. Pretty common, I would say, at this point. Just go for that B push here. They're going to go ahead and clear out halls as they are going to go ahead and push on in. It is still two members over at Ivy, so the rotations might come a little late. We'll see. There's no utility on the side of Monstars to actually try and slow down this push. There is the smoke coming out from Kiko, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Smoke does come out on the side of Denial. Oh, immediately. Not too good. Coming in, taking out K's.
I like the position, holding far back, gets a second one as well. Make sure those blocks are running. Ooh, and a quick rotation from Rico. He's going to come up and ladder him, get a nice okay. Anger managed to get one before he went down, but Monstars looking very strong on that. I mean, the retake positioning was excellent right there, apart from those two players at Ivy.
Yeah, they weren't even able to get the plant down there, and so we're already seeing the UMPs coming out from Monstars. They just want to build that bank and farm it up as much as possible for it coming out for them there. Now, looks like it's going to be a 5-man push coming out from Denial onto possibly the B site. They're playing it a little bit slower here. They've got the Tech 9 in the hands of K's, along with Deagle for Anger.
Monstars, the same setup we saw last round. Pretty much carbon copy from Denial as well. 5 players stacked over here. Kind of flash themselves in. No one holding quite up that close. Actually, they backed off. They were holding a little bit closer over by the ramp. And while that UMP can do some damage from afar, I imagine they would want to get a little bit closer here, but don't want to risk going up against those upgraded pistols of Denial Esports, who just barely managed to evade vision right there. So no information garnered quite yet. Minute 10 left. Flashbang's going to come out. They're going to be piling in through that smoke right now. He's in a good spot to wrap around. He's going to get tagged up slightly. It's not too good. Pushed off the back of Train. He's going to go down. Opening frag for Denial. Eco. Damage filed off. Flurry of kills down to a 2v3 for Monstars to retake as the bomb has been planted. Wardell going to throw out that Molotov. It'll push them back to that site. Going to wrap around. XP3 puts the pistol to good use. Mizo nearly takes him down, but in second for XP3. They're going to tie this right up 1-1, start things off very strong, as we expected. A much more closer match.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was like a flubbed flash there coming on out as all the members were onto the site there. If it had landed, it could have been completely different, but now Monstars is just going to be relegated to pistols here. Now it's going to be very difficult at this point as Anger does pick up the AK on his end there, Floki. Just going to be the utility man for his team. I think he's been watching a lot of Vikings. I have too. I know I think watched the last 4 seasons of Vikings in the last 2 weeks. So he might be channeling his inner Floki, but we'll see if Flosick can live up to that name. Just be a monster for his team here. As we do have a pause coming out from, I'm not too sure who actually called it.
It would be an interesting time for a tactical, so I imagine that's going to be technical. But going back to that last round, I think that could have been changed. I mean, yeah, that flub flash that may have come through. possibly, but Monstars kind of giving up a lot of hall control and not even having a single player from Denial is what the timeout came for. So we'll see what that comes up to be. But yeah, going back to that play, giving up free hall control on both of those rounds. And they did have a player posted up on like the far train, there's the like oil train. But if they played that a little bit more aggressively, just for information plays, they could have had a rotation come in much more quick. And I hope they change that up and realize that flaw, because that was the main thing, in my opinion, that went wrong in that round.
All right, so it looks like game plan set on the side of Denial. It's going to be XP3 that gets handed off that AK. And so we'll see how much damage he can do with it. Wardell, though, picking up the scout.
Interesting on CT side this early. I mean, maybe they really want to keep this as close as they can get it, but it's really risky. I mean, if everyone else is forcing a pistol, as he might as well. They weren't going to have a solid buy in the next round either way, but I don't know. We'll see. I saw some hype in the chat for Wardell, so he's apparently catering to the fans' wants and needs.
All right, now we do have this push. It looks like they're just going to go ahead and push through T-Con here. Mollies do come on out as we do have a stack coming out from Monstars. It's going to be not too good coming in. Hayes and Emily both going on down. They're going to be able to back away. We weren't able to recover any guns, but it doesn't matter as Mizu and Kiko just cleaning up house there. Great read coming up from Monstars. Great stack onto that A site.
Absolutely. That was a completely clean round, wasn't that? But yeah, putting that scout to great use, just having the great positioning right there. I'm kind of flabbergasted that we're going to go back and forth this early, this quickly. But Denial Esports did salvage themselves one UMP with their economy so low. Upgraded pistols in the hands of the rest of the players. Very light utility. Just flash, smoke, and a grenade. We'll see if they can make way in here, and thankfully not too good. Goes, ooh, actually gets punished for the advice that I had thought would have been the best. As Hayes, amazing headshot there. Kiko's going to answer that back, bring us into even player numbers. Creeping on close. Bomb is upstairs. Not being planted quite yet. Spots the player jumping down behind Spool, but Emily managed to kill regardless. Rico, quick double kill though, brings it back very close now. It's going to be Wardell with just that scout, not the weapon of choice in the situation.
Ooh, he almost got pitched in there, but looks like they're rotating the bomb on out. Going to go ahead and take it over to A. Heard Wardell over there with that scout, so they know A is empty. But he's on the hunt for more, and they should know that he's going to be in from connector over here. Anger's going to go ahead for that bomb plant. Misses the no-scope and almost finishes off Floki, but he will be able to connect with those last few bullets, finish him off. It's all tied up once again, 2-2.
I would like to see Wardell, instead of chasing the player with that smoke, while he was close, he might be able to get a nice sneaky kill off that, rotate back through CT, and go behind for the far sight lines, because he would have spotted Flowsick out right there. And yeah, it was a good attempt to go for the no-scope, but you can't count on that as much as the AWP. I think even if he had tagged him right there, he probably would still would have been well alive. But good attempt regardless. Monstars and Esports 2-2. Most even buy we've had so far. Monstars still on pretty much a force up, but that doesn't matter. It's not too good. Puts that CZ to work. Takes out XP3 over there. It's Econ. And I think he may have spotted another player. But he's definitely picked himself up an upgrade. Got an AK in his hands now.
Yeah, they had stacked off on A initially there, but Denial Esports is playing way too slowly. One of the stragglers pushing in through halls really got caught out. And so now it's going to be the 5v4. Floki sitting at the bottom of Pop Dog. He's going to get smoked off here.
Looks like Wardell calling in a little bit of reinforcements from Kiko, who rotated over towards the B-bomb site, and that's worked out perfectly for Denial. Looks like exactly what they wanted, as they're moving the bomb back over towards T-Con. There's actually a third player from Monstars tucked away back into Z, so they're expecting a B hit here. But they are positioned very passively, and with the upgraded rifles they picked up, they might have a chance to hold off this swarm that's going to be coming through, with 2 players holding by Pop Dog and 3 pushing over towards T-Con.
Denial taking their time. They've got 40 seconds to work with. Looks like it might be a push on to B here. Nades are coming on out. There's a smoke over at connector there. Not too good. Able to just reposition himself. Does get flashed. There was a window of opportunity to take him out there, but he's going to be able to make it happen here.
A lot of that 2 players, but not that one. He's looking back towards Ivy for some more information. A couple more kills from the side of Monstars. Anger getting the only kill from Denial there. And Monstars are going to string 2 rounds together.
All right. They are going to be able to force that back into this Denial. Already taking the UMP along with Galil and 2 AKs in the hand. Right now, the first AWP coming out in the hands of Wardell. Now, where is he going to play this?
He was positioned back towards the CT spawn on B side last round when he had foregone the scout for the M4, so I imagine he'd be playing there. But no, it looks like he actually has changed things up. Playing over there by Z. Kind of has some options laid out to him, but now Esports not showing any sort of aggression quite yet. Playing back, waiting for some aggression from the Monstars side. Nobody really going hunting for any sort of information. Closest we have is one player over in Ivy hiding behind an E-box, and Anger actually managed to get himself down at a op dog. He's smoked off for the time being, though.
Yeah, it's the first time that Denial have sent anyone over towards Ivy. This first half, it's XP3 over there. He's got that Tech 9, just trying to get the value trade at this point, possibly pick off Mizu, who hasn't been challenged there quite yet, so it might catch them off guard.
Yeah, Emily got herself down. Pop dog as well. Smokes are going to come out for calls, but they're going to get mollied off, so they're playing an execute then. So they stayed off for a few seconds. It is going to get smoked out. Another player joins them. They're going to be pushing out. A little bit of body blocking going on. Because to take advantage of that, gets a two-man spray down. Flosick answers back. It takes him out, but Mizo answer that one right back. The Kobe comes through from K's. Flosick up close, personal, spots out two players, can't quite land the shot. Adjusts his position, has a player to back him up, gets to the shot onto Wardell. Seems to know that this player's here on Ivy. Trades a little bit of bullet fire. Bomb is going to be planted, or no, a little bit of a fake. Flosick aggressively going around this corner. Looked like he's expecting a flashbang from his teammate. And has his back to it, interestingly enough. I'm confused right there. So he's going to go down. Not too good, gets that frag. Mizo comes on in, gets one for himself, upgrades some rifles, and go for the defuse.
Yeah, that was a questionable decision-making coming up from Flosick there, because there's no real angles for you to cover at that point. If bombs being planted on the opposite end of the train there.
And he knew the player was there, was exchanging fire with him. And I think he may have just expected the flash to come through and looked back to question his teammate for a split second and just got punished for it. So minor mistakes there may have cost them that round, but Monstars is going to lead this by 2 rounds now. Finally get a full buy, full utility. And Denial Esports are, of course, gotta force up as much as you can. Enough utility for a somewhat decent execute. Oh, Wardell with a nice frag out onto Anger. It was just peeking there, and Decon and Flosick, a little gutsy. Doing the same thing as 3 of these players rotate on over to Ivy. Might be their best option right now, as some players are rotating over towards B from the side of Monstars. But Mizo, he comes up, spots out the boost, puts XP3 down. Now Denial Esports, their positions are known. Only 2 players left alive, and Emily completely tagged up. It's going to be a difficult situation, but he gets some bonus kills for this round, as Ace does go down.
It's all down to Emily here. It's a 5v1 situation. Only has that P250.
Only 19 HP, so yeah, maybe a consolation kill, all that she could really hope for in this situation. But a minute to play with the bomb in hand, it's not going to be enough. Rico takes it down.
On this kind of eco round, I mean, do you agree with them playing that so slow, sending 3 over to Ivy? And
I think if the player had not got immediately fragged out on T-Con, they could have done something sneaky, as they had a player over on B-Halls as well, so maybe throw a flashbang out, peek the player to T-Con, and then rush through the smokes. I mean, they could have got some damage dealt. It was just very unfortunate timing as the player tried to cross into T-Con.
Now we might see our first off battle here. It's going to be Emily picking up the AWP in the hands of Denial Esports. Now it looks like they are positioning to push in through halls here. Once again, flashed off is Wardell. He was playing real up close with that AWP, changing his position just a little bit, trying to stay unpredictable, but he does get tagged down to 65 HP as he goes for that tag. He's going to go ahead and pop himself on top of that train, back away here, Floki. Might have heard something, just sprays into the smoke, doesn't connect with anyone. Mizu, though, has been doing a great job so far of holding down Ivy by himself.
Yeah, the 3 players are going to be probably pushing down on him soon, but I like this. Monstars haven't over-rotated whatsoever. They have not spotted the bombs. They're just remaining calm, sticking with the default setup. And I do also like the aggression that Wardell showed, since they've been playing so far back the past couple rounds. Now him showing his face at ramp like that, it'll keep them questioning. He's going to do that again next round. So only got tagged up for a little bit of damage there, but definitely played to the minds of Denial Esports further on in this match.
Saw Molly come out at the bottom of ladder room there. Just because of Rico's actual aggression coming in, he's actually got up the ladder and gotten the flake. It's going to be N2G coming in with the peek onto Emily, taking her out. That's the up down Kiko. Man, they rotated so many members over here to Ivy and just shut down this push. Now, Mizu will be able to finish off Anger, but XP3 trading away. That's 2-for-1 for him. It's going to be a 2v2 here as they are pushing onto the site. Bomb is going to go down. No one challenging them yet. They're just going to go for this retake here. Buy out their time a little bit.
I like this very much. Rico going out towards the Ivy angle, splitting up the angle, setting up a crossfire, spots out one player. Very low health on the Denial side at this point. Ooh, that looked like it was lined up perfectly, but XP3 was the victor in that duel. So position not known of Rico quite yet, as he's gotten a little bit closer, but what? XP3 swings wide and somehow misses, moving just a little bit too fast at that point. Taps the bomb and gets the frag. Rico with a solid play, like going for that retake. Oh, very, very smart. That was a little bit slow and it was a little risky, but just spreading up and having a crossfire angle, that was good stuff.
It was just a weird repeat coming up from Kays there at the end. He saw that he went for the fake. He could have waited it out just a little bit more, played the clock, and then repeat once he heard the defuse noise again, but he immediately went for it and got immediately punished. So now 6-2 is our scoreline. Monstars leading here on Train. They're going to go for this team-com push again, but here come the nades. The Molly's going to go ahead and put a stop to Emily's push. As N2G now playing aggressively here, pushing in. Unfortunately, does not get the spray down. It's going to be Emily with that UMP getting the kill. She can upgrade up here. Mizu once again shutting down XP3 over at Ivy.
Emily does get the upgrade. A's he's going to get a frag. Wardell ekes outside over by Olaf. Gets the frag. He's going to bring this to 3v2 as Mizo answers back. A lot of hectic moving going on right now. Up the Train, gets fragged, 2 kills on the side of Denial Esports, and now it's a 1v1. Wardell with AWP against Flowsick. It's a Galil in hands. There are weapons around. He could upgrade too, but is going for a very interesting wraparound while Wardell is shooting through his smoke, so he is a misread on this situation. 12 bullets in the magazine. Will he spot the player? Nope, just misses Wardell going up ladder room, so Wardell heavily misinformed right now. Flowsick probably doesn't even know how lucky he is to have the bomb site all to himself, but he's going to go for the plant. Doesn't even fake it. Full commit. And Wardell now knows he's probably in the wrong spot.
I think that was a good read coming up from Flowsick.
Yep.
He could have planted for B, but at that point, you just don't know which angle that he's going to arrive from.
Yep.
Buy yourself some time. Go ahead and re-rotate on over to A. Buy yourself that space, and he was able to actually get down the plant now, but it's going to be Galil versus this 5-7. He's only on 20 HP. He's going so far to hunt down this kill to secure it, and he will be able to get it. So that's going to be the 7th round for Monstars. But Denial were at least able to get that flat down, so they'll be able to rebuy back into this next round here.
Yeah, economy fairly healthy. Did a little bit of damage to Monstars there, but they're still so built up. And not only in economy, but momentum. These guys looking so confident right now. Wardell didn't even bother walking that entire retake.
No.
Like, just running around, jumping over corners, pistol in hand. I don't even need the AWP. Just must have known that the HP was low or just feeling confident, but made it work. These guys are on fire. You can see why Chat was hyped about him, but Emily's going to open up under Rico. So I think that's one of the first opening frags Denial has had in many rounds right now.
Yeah, most definitely, but they still have to be wary of Wardell. He has been changing up his position pretty frequently now. He's playing over at A, and so it's going to be N2G pushing up to the back of B here. Last time he went for this, I believe he went down with the trade against Emily.
Yep. It was the first time they had peeked upper and immediately got shot, and that would have been probably a bad idea in this situation, as there are 3 players up there, but only one is going to have peek on him. But as they go down, he's going to get answered right back by XP3. So player advantage for the side of Denial. Emily, nice little flick on the Wardell. It's going to leave 2 players standing for Monstars. M4's very little utility. They could flush these players out and try and divide them, but it's going to be quite difficult. But they had the money to do it, so I know they're going to try.
Yeah, but Crossfire, not the greatest coming up from Denial, but it looks like they're just going to go
Oh.
ahead and retreat out of here. They were able to salvage that AWP that Wardell had dropped on earlier there. And so just make sure your economy's good pushing forward. You're already in a great state. Fortunately, you just weren't able to win the challenge up top. It was a 1-for-1 trade, nice contact play coming up from Denial Esports as they moved on to the side. And there was only the one there. And so when the retakes came in, they just got shut down on the side of Monstars. Kiko might actually get his final kill, but no, not going to peek that wide. Oh, misses the shot! Oh no, XP3 actually picks up the kill onto Kiko. So that's the op out of the hands of Monstars now.
As the frag they wanted. I was actually very surprised they went hunting because I thought their economy would be so low they'd want to save every little bit they could get. But it did pay off for them. Risk reward. And they will pick themselves up around for the first in, I believe, 4.
Quite some time,
Yeah.
Quite some time. But Monstars are going to go ahead and force up right back into this. We've got 3 M4s along with the UMP and an entire bevy of nades here, so plenty of utility to work with at this point. They do have that 4-stack once again on A, but Kiko is going to go ahead and rotate back on over to B. Back up N2G. Once again, N2G not wanting to get aggressive here.
Emily taking a couple pot shots through that smoke, making sure nobody is holding up close. Mizo, closest player over there, tucked well back behind Ivy, but Flowstick, he's going to take a peek out, get a little bit of information. I think he only spotted one of those players. So he's going to back off with that info, readjust his position. Meanwhile, Denial Esports running down the clock. The bomb is still all the way back by terrorist halls. And they've got some options now, a little bit of information in their pocket. And let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, Denial have been playing a lot of these rounds pretty slowly, waiting for their pushes around the 40-second mark here. They do have 2 members floating on over at Ivy. The rotations are going to have to come out soon if they're going to commit to his site. So it looks like they're going to be committing onto the B site here. As the bomb is rotating over to Ivy, Mizu will drop back as he does see the nades come on out.
35 seconds. They've ran this down so low, and they're 3 players stacked up from Monstars. Like, they've just been waiting for them to make mistakes. In Denial, now they're going to have their hand forced. They're rushing on through. Mizo's up close, gets the first spray down and the second. Oh, nice little burst fire there. Takes K's and 10 HP. Rico's going to finish off one of those. Emily, though, does answer it back. 18 seconds left in the round. 2v2. Only a CZ in the hands and not too good. He couldn't land any of those. The health was so low on K's. Emily spots up the player to the right, tries to go for a counter peek on the opposite side. Rico's going to finish off K's. Emily, only the pistol in hand, comes up close, but it's 1 second left in the round, so Kiko just hid in the smoke and is now searching for that frag to try and kill her after round, so she does not get any bonus money. But Monstars back in it again after only letting up 1 round. And Rico already up on 12 frags, so pretty good ADR over there so far.
Yeah, I like that play coming out from Mizu. He's been the man playing over at Ivy the entire time, but as he saw the clock winding down and the nades coming out, he knew it was going to be a push coming out from Ivy, so he just drew back a little bit, played a safer angle, and was able to get that 2-for-1 trade and just really whittled down that clock even more. As you saw there, it came down to 1v1. Emily unfortunately not able to get that last kill there, so now 8-3 is our score line here. So we do have that off back in the hands of Emily. And once again, they're committing to, looks like B site here. They're pushing through halls right now. And it's been largely successful on the side of Denial Esports pushing through here.
Better luck than A. I think they've just been waiting for Monstars to get aggressive, and this does not look like the type of team that is going to do that. So they're changing it up, going a little bit earlier this time. 5-man stack, rushing in there, but not too good. He's going to clean up, as is Kiko with a 2K. Emily does answer it back, gets the frag under Rico, but not too good with a jumping little ump shot there. He's going to add these coffers right there. A lot of extra cash made up with those SMGs. Some upgrades are going to come out of this round. Only 2 more rounds left in the half. So now would be about the time I take that time out and try and analyze what's going wrong. And they did change up things a little bit there, so they're going to be on like pretty much a full eco round right here with upgraded pistols and a few hands. Tiniest bit of utility. And same play as last. You know, maybe they thought that that worked a little bit well or better than previous rounds, but definitely the site to hit with pistols.
Yep, we do have the 2 members over at B once again playing this pretty darn standard. And now it's going to be a difficult take. They don't have much utility to work with. Just the smoke. Floki getting caught out. Already dropped down to 16 HP. Trying to draw attention over here to A. But now with the nades coming on now, they know it's a committal onto this B side. And N2G just holding it down once again. Even able to pull out the pistol for 3K.
That was just great spray control right there, and maybe a little bit of lackluster pistol aim from, I believe that was Anger right there trying to take him out. Yep, it was. God, beautiful stuff to hop up and manages to survive that. Usually that's just a death sentence. Like, you're not hitting anything for a couple of seconds, but Monstars looking very good on their seat east side. They've got the perfect amount of rounds and then some, so going over towards the terrorist side, just hope they can do the same. A bit of an early rush out from Denial. Got a player out behind over there to Olaf. And actually 2 players down in Pop Dog. 1 already behind E-Box, but Kiko is going to punish that early aggression.
Emily had the opportunity, unfortunately, got punished with that flash. Floki, what was that?
I'm confused. I don't know what happened, how he got in that position, but Flosick has spotted at least 2 players, but Wardell hops up on top of Bomb Train, nearly shotguns it, but XP3 answers back. So now Monstars not in the best position, does have a kit in hand, but the bomb is going down right now. Health, a little bit damaged up on Denial, but I believe N2G, he's at least got the element of surprise. He can wait for them to hold some different angles, maybe reposition themselves, but he's got enough time to play with to try and seek some of these out.
Yeah, XP3, he's got that AWP over by ladder, so nice angle to cover here. Oh, I think he might have just spotted him out. N2G just clearing his angles, making sure he's not getting flanked, but now Type is ticking out. He does have that defuse kit, but as he goes for it, both peak. It's going to be XP3 with the 4K to finish out that round, and now we're moving on to the 15th. 10-4 our scoreline currently in Denial. Would be super happy to get this 5th one on the board before swapping sides.
Yeah, 10-5 would not be a horrible scoreline for a Train T-side.
But take a look at that buy coming out from them for their final round here. They do have 3 AKs. Emily, once again with that AWP, but it was XP3 that came up with the heroics to cinch out that round for them. Floki's going to be sitting on that Tech 9, so a little bit outgunned here once again. Pushing up, but take a look at Geeko. He tries to go aggressive at Anger, immediately punishes him. Are they going to expect MPG here? He's already got 2 kills. Finally, it's going to be Floki that shuts him down, but that's going to be a 3v3 situation as they are moving on to the B-sider. Emily going for that peek, gets the kill onto Rico, and so now Wardell is going to try and chance his way in. He gets the flash, takes her out, and now it's a 2v2.
Very interesting stuff. Bomb has gone down. Wardell in a good position to spot out one of those players, but crosses the wrong time. Although that frag is going to get picked up by Mizo, so XP3 position probably not. I think they saw him tuck himself up ramp. Is the defuse going in? I couldn't hear it. XP3 gets the first headshot, but he did stick the defuse. He's going to get the round. Monstars picking up their 11th. Denial Esports, they look like they had the best opportunity there. Really interesting play. I like they didn't really go aggressive up B-side ramp at all that entire half until the very last round, and sending 2 players up there is so smart because, well, they'd expect one player to maybe just get a little bit ballsy. You have the confidence that you have so many more rounds. Having the second player tucked away, allowing not too good just to spray down 2. Nice little trade.
Yeah, there were lots of windows of opportunity for Denial Esports every time they were pushing in B. That was probably their most successful pushes. I think every round that they won came off of a B push there. And so Monstars did a great job of just changing up their playstyle just a little bit there, going aggressive on B ramp and really punishing them for that. Now we do swap off sides here. Monstars up 11-4 against Denial Esports. Remember, this is best of 1 GSL-style groups. And so I believe the winner of this goes on to face off against Immortals. That's a tough task.
It's a strange prize to look forward to, but actually at this point, Monstars, I think they could have a really good showing if they could keep up this kind of momentum going on into the CT half and then on into their next match. But it's a lot to hope for, and it's definitely a difficult task for any of the teams going ahead in this event.
All right. Now, it looked like Denial were very unsure of themselves, right? They've tried Ivy push like 2-3 times. It got shut down every single time by Mizu. XP3 wasn't winning the duels over there against him. This is just experience showing at this point?
I think it's just having people trying to fit into roles with 2 stand-ins, and it's just not working out well. You can see they tried to go for those T-Con pushes multiple times and switching up a couple of the players there, but it just got shut down so much by usually Wardell's up or Mizo holding over there.
All right,
it's hard to say, but into this round.
Yep. It's going to be Monstars on the T side here. It looks like they're going to go for that B push. Emily holding on top of the trains on Bread. Spots out one. Doesn't quite connect the shots, though. Here comes the Molly. Is burning them down just a little bit, but Rico coming in, pushing forward with that kill onto Floki. Now, Keys, unfortunately, with that team kill onto Emily. The XP3 that finally answers on back. So now it's a 3v4 as the bomb has gone down. XP3 with that dig, and Keys coming in. A little bit of retribution there, making up for it, but it's all XP3 at this point with the 3K so far. Kiko trying his best to buy time here, but DPU is going down. He's got the kid, so Denial Esports will be able to take his first pistol round, or second pistol round, excuse me.
Very solid stuff right there. I was very curious how it was going to work out having one player rep. I mean, he pushed all the way through Ivy and ramped all the way through to E-spawn and came back just in time to distract the player off the bomb defuse up there in Brown Halls.
11-5 our scoreline now. And it looks like they're going to go for that B push once again, just rush B. Now, they are sending one person over to T-Con, possibly. No, it's just going to be N2G holding back, making sure no one pushes in from Ivy quite yet. Now, XP3 with that M4 will back away. I've heard a lot of noise coming from the halls there.
Wardell peeking out, taking a little pot shot. I don't know if he had spotted XP3 right there, but they do seem to be a little hesitant to actually aggress on this bomb site. But they do have a player, I believe it's not too good, aggressing over there towards Ivy. Rikoko and two others position themselves above the ladder room. Flashes are going to come out. This is a nice little setup right here with only Glocks and very little utility. One smoke's going to come out, I believe. So Mizo is out there, and he's going to get taken out by Kaze. Peeks out, spots another player, puts him down. Wardell answers it back. Flowsick, though, he's here. UMP is looking hot. It's all up to N2G right now.
And Bomb just in the middle of no man's land there. N2G just pray for some kills at this point with that P250. But he does spot out one. It's going to be Emily. And now his position is given away over at ladder room. It's going to be Floki that finishes that off. That's going to be 3K for him. Really building up that bank now.
Solid eco from Dynal Esports right there. I mean, it was actually a really good set piece from Monstars, but it just couldn't land their shots under like, not enough firepower, really. But there we see XP3, who has been amazing this match so far.
Yeah, he's really starting to open up now. Initially, it was a little bit of a slow start coming out from Dynal Esports, but XP3 really keep them in it so far. 11-6 our scoreline. They're looking to make this play over towards A, possibly. We do have two members of Monstars there in the halls.
We have a flank coming in from Flowsick, though. He's right on the tail of the players up in halls. Maybe just missed them. They're being hightailing it down into towards the B side. Makes a little bit of noise and then backs off, so I think they were switching this up. They're going to go over to its A. I think, yeah, not too good. Open up with the frag over there onto the A-bomb site. Flowsick decides not to flank from T halls. Went over there towards mid and got punished for it. Eco, Mizo both picking up 2 frags. Now Dynal Esports, 2 players left. Ooh, Kaze, though, picks himself up a 2K. It's going to even things right back out. Keep them in this round.
Now, neither member of Dynal have kits here, so they're going to have to work fast. This time is dwindling here. Smoke comes out. Keys is going to go for that fake.
Interesting.
Spam through that smoke over. Coco actually gets XP3 behind Keys here. Nice spray transfer, but time is running out.
Yeah, it was over as soon as he missed those 2 sprays. I mean, they were fairly accurate, but just a couple pixels off. Definitely a good attempt, playing on the top of that smoke, trying to find some headshot angles. But the bomb was just in too good of a position for Monstars there, so they are pulling this one back.
Force up coming out.
Round, yeah.
We've got that AWP. This time it's going to be in the hands of XP3. It was primarily Emily playing it on the T side here, but XP3 really did open up with that. Watching over at T-Con, spots out 2, gets one onto Kiko. He knows there's a second man there. Goes for that re-peek. Now, they're just going to continue to push through here.
They have to. As the bomb was dropped, they did just pick it up. Energy has got that. Wardell gets another frag as well. Make that a second. What? Is he going for the ace right now? Yes, he is. Up close. And he's doing ace. Spinning in circles. Looking a little bit lost right there. Eventually put down by Rico. Monstars going to get another round on the board. Extend their lead by 7 rounds now.
Yep, 13-6 our score line. There you have it, boys and girls. That is Monstars on screen. Facing off right now against Dynal Esports, and you know, this is going primarily the way I expected to. Like I said at the beginning of this match, Monstars has been a pretty stable roster, been playing with each other for a really long time now, about a year and a half. Wardell just basically stand-in at this point from Ghost, and they've got a wealth of experience, really. Oh, immediately Emily tries to sneak out over at B, but Wardell and Rikoko coming in along with Mizu, immediately shutting that down. XP3, sorry, 1v5 up against all those AKs, not going to be able to do much. That's the 14th round for Monstars, and now we're sitting 2 rounds away from facing off against Immortals.
And it's looking that way. They saved every bit they could in that previous round. Completely clean round for Monstars, so they're going to buy into this as much as possible. They're still going to be lacking a lot of utility. Only 1 kit, and they pretty much got to get this round. Otherwise, they're playing for overtime. Actually, I don't even need to do overtime, so yeah, we'll be playing for a tie at that point with nothing but pistols. So it's now or never for Denial. And early aggression out onto Monstars' side. They're smoked off, but Flowsick, he's going to push through it. Can't spot out any players as they traded off the treated positions, but he does get 1 frag off it before answered back by Mizo. XP3 picks one up. Elite coming out of Op Dog knows there's some players pincered in here, and the bomb had gone down, but she gets flashed, and somehow he ducks under the bullet, saved by her teammate. But XP3 back in it, picks up 2 quick ones and a third. That's going to give him 4 for that round to keep Denial going.
Yeah, XP3, every single time it comes down to these clutch situations. I mean, look at him. He's got 21 frags to his name. He's the top frag in the server right now.
Wow.
He's been putting in a lot of work for Denial, but is it going to be enough? They still have to run it back. 9 more rounds to get this victory, so it's going to be very difficult at this point.
A little bit more utility this round, sacrificing some weaponry down on a P90 to FAMAS, but it'll help for any sort of extra save them up. But the FAMAS seems to be enough. If they take out Wardell, he tries to climb that up, but XP3 has really good timing right now. Pushing up towards the top of ladder room, but Mizo turns around at the last second, managed to take him out. Emily was there on his heels, though. Trades the frag right back out to keep man advantage on the side of Denial.
I feel like that was a little bit of overreach coming out from Wardell there, just pushing in through T-Con by himself. Kiko will be able to even this out now. It is a 3v3 situation. Bomb hovering over at T-Con. Anger on the other side of this smoke. It's going to be N2G that picks up the kill onto Emily, giving them the man advantage. They've got a minute to work with. They can rotate things on over to B, but Anger through the smoke spots out Kiko, takes him out. His position giving away a little bit, but time has passed. He's going to be able to rotate on off. Both members playing over by connected there. One actually over at Heaven. N2G picking up that kill onto Anger. Now they do spot out A's. They know he's there. They're going to be able to clean him up, and now they are on match point.
Rough stuff there for Denial. It's going to be tough to try and run this back as their economy looked like it was in tatters after they forced up everything they could. And yet, it kind of came off that play where Wardell went up there, got aggressive. I thought it was a smart play, but just missed timing. As I think it was Mizo who flicked around and got the shot. It looked like he was going to be a free kill for a little while. And as it was answered back, kind of took the star player out of the server there. But XP3 pushing up with the CZ. He gets spotted up, but gets a frag regardless. Wardell's going to put him down, bring this back to a 4v4. Emily up ladder, takes out Mizo. Somehow still in this.
Yeah,
1 HP.
They did spot out Bomb, I believe. And so Anger, just barely missing that shot with that CZ, and Wardell can be able to get that play. And now it's all down to K's, but there we go. Emily, I thought actually it was over with that last kill, but she was just sitting on 1 HP. Wardell's going to be able to clean that up. So 16-7. And it's going to be Monstars to move forward, face off against Immortals.
It'll be interesting to see if they can take this kind of strength, if Wardell and XP3 can still have that kind of like just firepower. That'd be great.
And yeah, so 16-7 was the final scoreline, and that was what I predicted actually while we were on our break and discussing this matchup in between. And so
you had the exact round count?
The Prophet, yeah, 16-7. I said 16-7.
Did it happen on stream?
We can confirm over there if we send it on over
thumbs up.
to our analysts.
Vendetta confirmed.
Yeah. So, I mean, Monstars, really great performance out of them.
Yep.
It went largely how I expected. They looked a lot more cohesive in their play and their defenses on the CT side, and then on their T side, they were able to just get that final win there. I mean, they just drove home the advantage.
A little bit at the beginning, but we drew it right back, as I think most of us expected.
Yeah, so let's get that confirmed over at the analyst desk. 16-7, right, guys?
See,
believe it was correct.
Yeah,
16-7, right, boys?
100%. I was in the bathroom, but I'll say yes anyways.
just agree with them for simple.
Yeah, I agree with them. They're pretty smart.
We don't want to cause a ruckus here in the broadcast.
One little ruckus. You know what I'm saying? One little ruckus. You want to have a good time, talk CS, have fun,
all the good stuff.
But
overall, this match was a surprise for anyone. The outcome here. Did we expect Denial to come out a little bit stronger in this first match?
I thought they were a little weaker than I thought they would be.
Yeah, I came up with the same perception. Especially when you end up on a map like Train, you kind of expect that if you're gonna let it through, then you probably should have something planned at least. And that didn't really seem to be the case for a lot of the T side of Denial, honestly.
Here's like one of my. I have two things that I think what really caused loss in the match. One is team XP3 and all them, they lost too many like one-on-ones, one-on-twos on their T side, so they went in a half, they could have had more rounds, okay? That was one thing. They lost too many one-on-ones and stuff. The other thing is there's no ops, like not enough ops. You have XP3 and Emily who are main oppers, they main op. Back in 1.6, it was Deagle and op for XP3. That's what he was known for, and he only had the op when he picked one up. he let Emmy lead opt. And I think he just had more ops. You know, you're on LAN, you're playing against pugs, some teams and stuff like that, but you know, ops are so strong, especially with them. You saw the rounds that XP3 won. He killed like 3 people with an op, killed 4 people with an op. Like, why aren't you opping more, especially on CT side? I don't think they maybe had 1 op on the whole CT side that I remember.
I think that's accurate. And definitely, like, especially when you're having the kind of game that he had as well, because I mean, he was top fragging at everyone on the server when you're down by 8+ rounds. So obviously, you know, you're hitting your shots, and at that point, I think you need to be more assertive and actually just take it upon yourself. Like, yeah, maybe that's not what you planned, like going into the game that you were going to op, but you know, situation has kind of led itself down that route where you kind of just have to do it, whether you like it or not. And I think just everyone else is just along for the ride at that point. Yeah.
We don't really saw oddities with the way that XP3 was playing, and you know, him not being able to pick up the ops so much. But K's really seemed a little bit off mark in that match. Would you guys say so, or?
It maybe was a comms thing as well, because there were times where the T's or Monstars would smoke Ivy, and they would hop out Ivy, and you see Anger knows that they smoked out Ivy, and one of the Monstars would wrap CT spawn, and they would die. So I wonder if it's maybe a miscomms on a lot of situations, because sometimes on their CT side, Denial would, you know, peak, and then the other team would be passive. So I don't know if it's just something wrong with comms, maybe they're not talking too much. It's just a combination of things, but I mean, comms is a huge part where, you know, if your team's playing aggressive, you want to play with your team. You want to peek with them, bait them, toss a flashbang or something. You know, make something happen.
Yeah, honestly, like I think a lot of the things that Denial really didn't really seem too well planned out in many ways. So you know, whether it's communication or just the initial idea they had going into the game didn't really seem to go all that far. Especially we saw when so they lose pistol in the first half, and then they managed to bring it back immediately after with a force buy. It's like at that point you need to come up with something better than literally just like let's bum rush out in yard. And that's literally it. Especially because they had a couple of Molotovs as well. Those Molotovs came down like after 2 or 3 people had died. It's like, okay, like everybody's died. Now let's molly, you know, E-box. It's like, no, it's kind of what you need to do initially as you move out. That's the entire purpose of it. But
a lot of reactive play, not necessarily.
Exactly. Yeah, it was reactive, but it was like reacting with a like pretty heavy delay. It's like somebody's been like, I don't know, electroshocked or something, so they're not really quite there yet. Yeah, they were in a different plane definitely for a lot of that game, it seemed like. But again, you know, it's first game. It's still another chance, right? Not upper bracket anymore, but still have another shot at getting back into it.
Everybody's still getting warmed up, still kind of getting used to the setups and whatnot, so we're prone to seeing some of that stuff, and some of that stuff which may have actually made it into our replay package, actually, which we'll take a little bit of a look at now. But talking more a little bit about the positives, too, the Monstars actually doing phenomenally well, especially when it came to their ability to just outright, you know, win out some of these clutch scenarios. We had quite a few all-stars in the match.
Yeah, I think Wardell had a couple of rounds. This is not one of them, obviously. It's one of the many back and forth rounds we had to start off the game. But yeah, like the first Deco round where he finds a couple of frags with the Scout. And then you had the 4K round on the T side for them, etc., where literally just like pops out of nowhere because it just smokes down everywhere, and all of a sudden 4 people die from Denial.
See right there, you saw XP. He thought he probably had to make a move, and so he peeked, but his teammate should have reacted with him. Like say, hey, also, I have to peek, or I'm going to peek, and then boom, peek with him at the same time. So also very weird to see that Case actually just goes for the re-peek afterwards, because he gets the initial peek and he would assume that he saw that Rico was not on the bomb. He still decides to take the fight once more. So a couple of I'd say like easy mistakes to make from individual players, kind of hurting Denial. You know, like if you're gonna peek a bomb, like listen for the shots. If they're not shooting, make it harder. If you just peek the same angle 2 times in a row instead of maybe hopping the ladder, maybe look above the train. Just make it harder for them to hit the shot. Don't just re-peek the same angle all the way just to see. You have to listen. You have to kind of have, you know, a little instinct. Like one of my favorite moves. I'm gonna give away one of my secrets. No. But you know what? It's a good one. It's a good one. Okay. One of my bag of tricks is that if I'm in a one-on-one situation, the bomb's planted in my favor. The enemy probably has a good idea of where I'm at. I peek only showing my elbow, and I shoot in the wall. Yeah. And a lot of times that incites him to shoot back at me. A lot of times. And so I don't have to see them. I hear the shots. They're not on the bomb. I could wait. I could fall back and replay the angle or change it up. And I don't see that often in a lot of this day and age, actually, in CS:GO, I think there'd be a little more into it, like just smarter play at least. But
You don't see that a whole lot just in general. You smarter play in general, things like that, trying to trick your opponents, or I mean, even when you have multiple players in a situation, especially at like the lower level. I mean, granted, it's to be expected to a certain degree at the lower level, but even as you're kind of transitioning, you look like premier level players. You don't necessarily see like just dual peeking when you both have a player box in the middle. It'll be like one guy peeks, kills him. Another guy peeks like 2 seconds later, gives the guy trying to clutch time to spin back around and win that out. You see that happen a lot, especially like the premier level one. So it is definitely a thing where it's like, okay, what's happening now? Like, why aren't these players trying to get together and think about these things, which should in in practice be very, very easy to do, but it just seems like in the heat of the moment, a lot of that gets lost a lot of the time.
Yeah, it could be a lot with nerves. I think maybe it's the mentality of right now in CS:GO. We're looking at a lot of focus is on people who can hit their shot, young guns who could just run out and headshot people. But like, if you play against smarter players, you can't just run and gun anywhere. There's angles, there's timing, there's smokes. There's a lot of factors which can stop these young people or people who just run out and just headshot. Like there's ways to play around that, and that's why you see a lot of these like same mistakes. It's just the mentality is I gotta get frags, I gotta get headshots. I'm the best because I get headshots. Well, that doesn't work in the team. A team atmosphere. You play your role, you throw a flash or smoke, or you bait your teammate. Maybe you're always, first person taking an angle. Well, you're not going to have a good score, but you're doing your job.
Yeah.
You're handing these kills to, Coldzera, who will be second and third person in all the rushes because he has great aim, good spacing and timing as well. You just let Taco or Fur just run out first and just bait him. It works, and it's good, and they play the role. And I don't think a lot of people see that big picture.
Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, we do have ourselves a second winner for this match. Our third match should be coming up in just a little bit, so you are going to want to stick with us for that. That is going to end up being Luminosity versus Top coming up here in just a little bit. So stick around once again, and we'll have the Esports Arena Showdown series continuing in just a few minutes.